Hi everybody, the original webinar that we did for Home Care Pots of Gold all along the Yellow Brick Road and secrets to finding them did not record. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it all over again, and we're posting this recording on YouTube so that everybody can see it. My name is Valerie Van Boeven. I'm a registered nurse and the co-owner of LTC Expert Publications. Our job is to help home care agencies have great content on their website every single week without fail, and we also create websites, SEO, social media, and do all of those things for home care agencies. So that is our specialty and that is our niche, and with that we're going to get started with our webinar. Okay, so our theme obviously today for our webinar is the Yellow Brick Road in The Wizard of Oz. And so we took a lot of quotes from that movie, because if you follow the movie along, it's sort of about personal growth and all those things. And so we're going to start with a quote from Glinda. And Glinda says, this is Glinda the Good Witch, she says, "It's always best to start at the beginning, and all you do is follow the yellow brick road." In other words, the path equals the plan. So all we have to do to make our home care agency successful is follow the yellow brick road. And so what we put together is a step-by-step plan for you to have a successful marketing strategy with your home care agency. So on the agenda, and this is what you read on the invitation, we talked about what it means for a home care agency to follow the yellow brick road. What is a pot of gold? Finding your Tin Man, your lion, and your scarecrow along the way, or working as a team. Avoiding the wicked witch and her flying monkeys. Don't fall asleep in the poppy field. Let Glinda, the Good Witch, which I spelled wrong, help you bring it all together, and tap those ruby slippers for magic every time. So the first thing we're going to talk about is where to start, and the yellow brick road starts right here with this presentation. Whether you're a new startup or you've been in the business a long time, you may have lost your way, or you may not know what your marketing plan or your marketing strategy is. So we're going to get you started down the right path today. Your marketing strategy is your yellow brick road. So no strategy equals no path, and no plan and no results. And just so you know, on each slide, on some of the slides, you're going to see a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So a pot of gold is any action or actions that you take that creates a new client for your home care agency. And you're going to see those as we go. So step one, and you can see my pot of gold right there in the top right-hand corner. What are your goals? Now, everybody needs to set goals. This is something that, you know, when you start a business, you just want to dive right in, you just want to move forward, get those clients, but setting goals is super important. So I took a guess at what I thought would be some really good goals for a home care agency based on the thousands of conversations we've had with everybody across the country. So number one, increase visibility in your local area or your local community. You want to be visible. I don't think there's anyone who would say they didn't want more visibility, as long as it's positive. Increase trust and authority in your local community. And by that I mean that you want the community, or people around you, the people in your local towns that you serve, to believe and trust that you are a great organization to call for advice, for help, and of course for home care when it's needed. Increase leads and referrals in your local community. Of course you want more home care leads. You want more people to be calling you to inquire about setting up services for their aging loved one. In referrals, you want those professional referrals. So when you build trust and authority and you have good visibility, you're going to get more referrals from more professionals in your local community. So step number two. And I put a little typo in here too. What is your niche inside your niche? So in the business world, your niche is home care or senior care or some version of that. So let's go with home care. Inside of the home care niche, what is your niche? Do you have one? Well, you should. And by that I mean maybe a specialty service. So if you specialize in an area like dementia care or mobility issues like Parkinson's disease, post-stroke, things like that, that is a great niche inside your niche to have, because not everyone has one, and it really does set you apart. It also, some people would call it a unique selling proposition. So our unique selling proposition would be, in this case, that we help folks specifically who have mobility, maybe Parkinson's disease. Our caregivers are trained to do that. A lot of home care agencies have already centered in on having a niche of dementia care, because I would imagine that a very large percentage of your clients have some form of memory loss or dementia issues. So if you're going to be a specialist in that area, and that's kind of getting oversaturated, there's a lot of folks who say they are Alzheimer's and dementia care, that's one of their specialties. If you're going to say that, you need to be able to back it up. What kind of training have your caregivers had with regard to dementia care or even mobility issues? Are you all certified? Is there some kind of organization that has helped with that? So you want to make sure that if you say you specialize in Alzheimer's care, that you can back that up. So what population what population you care about? The population that you care about with regard to your home care agency, of course, an example of that is adult children of aging parents and aging adults. And the type of problem you solve elder care issues at home, you solve senior safety issues in the home, medication and diet compliance, driving issues. There are all kinds of problems that you solve inside your niche of home care, and that's for the aging adult. And then you solve even more problems when you specialize in dementia care, mobility issues, or any other thing you can think of. So who else cares about this niche that could be networking partners or an audience for you? So here's a list, and I'm going to give you some examples here of folks that care about the same things you care about. So adult children of aging parents, that's your community. Those folks are, could potentially be or are in the future going to have issues centered around senior care and elder care because they are adult children of aging parents. And then spouses of seniors who are failing at home. You have a lot of senior spouses out there who have another, their spouse is not doing as well as they are, and they could use some help. You also, on the professional end, there are physicians, discharge planners, social workers, assisted living marketers, PT, OT, ST, elder law attorneys, and geriatric care managers. So these are all the different kinds of folks who care about what you're marketing. So how can you share your interest with and solve a problem for the people listed in step 3, which is our previous step? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So if we zoom in on adult children of aging parents and the spouses of seniors who are failing at home, how can you reach out to them and share your knowledge and your interest with them? You can do that in a lot of ways, and I would encourage you to think of ways you can do this that aren't the same as everybody else. So you could be a speaker at a local seminar. You could hold a webinar just like the one we held for this presentation, and it could just be local to your area. You could just participate in different talks or support groups, senior fairs, referrals from current clients, internet, and e-newsletter. All these are ways you can reach out to adult children and seniors. So here's another example. For physicians, if you want to gather the attention of physicians in your local area, you have to do 3 things. You have to visit with a purpose, visit with statistics, because they're very, statistic and scientific minds. So we want to visit them with some kind of statistics, and visit the right person in the office. So when I say physicians, I really mean physicians' offices in general, because oftentimes the first person you meet and the first person you network is not going to be the doctor, it's going to be the office manager or the person at the desk. So you want to make sure that you have a purpose in mind when you go to visit them. You're not wasting their time, they're not wasting your time, and you give them the information they need to make a good decision. So right now, you see my little text there, the tip, buzzwords in the industry right now. Reduce hospital readmission rates is a buzzword in the industry. So you want to keep track of your own data and be proactive and show your results. And I'm going to give you a better example of that in just a minute. But for the Medicare side of home health care, you can get a lot of data on reducing hospital readmission rates, how home care helps with that. On the private duty side, that's harder to come by. You need to keep track of your own data. So, and plus, that even though there's a lot of data out there about Medicare home health care reducing hospital readmission rates, for your agency, whether you're medical or non-medical, to have that data specific to your agency is super important. It not only helps you improve your processes and the care that you give your patients, but it will show the physicians and the people in the office that you specifically are really doing a good job. Okay, so the rest of our list includes discharge planners, social workers, assisted living marketers, and physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, elder law attorneys, and geriatric care managers. I've given you 2 examples. You can work on this list and think of other ways that you can reach out to these folks. So how do you stay in touch with your network or the people in step 3? First of all, you need to send information on a regular basis. E-newsletters, flyers, articles by other people, articles by you preferably. Remind them of you or your company on a regular basis, and monthly is best. You can also write a tip sheet and pass it around, drop it off, or snail mail and email it to those who could use it. So for instance, the month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you had a tip sheet that's also branded with your information, maybe has a pink ribbon on it, you could send that out via email. You could pass that out as flyers about good breast health and the importance of mammograms and things like that. For November, November is usually Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month. You could do a big write-up on Alzheimer's disease and a tip sheet on caring for someone with Alzheimer's disease. So you can see on the right-hand side of our screen that that is an example of a newsletter. This is one of our clients, and that's the newsletter they send out. And we do that for them. And just something clean, neat, and easy to navigate. It's sort of like this. When you're in the market for a new car, or you're thinking about buying one, you start paying attention to all the ads on TV, all the newspaper ads. You look around on the internet at what's available in your local area. You start paying attention to those radio ads. You actually hear them. Whereas before, when you were not in the market for a new car, you could have cared less about it. All those ads and all that mumbo jumbo just kind of slides right by you. You don't even notice it. It's just an irritation more than anything else. Same holds true for people who are needing elder care or are thinking about the fact that their parent might need some help at home. Every time they see an ad on TV, or they get a newsletter in their email box, or they see something that pertains to elder care or aging, they're going to start paying attention. And that is why your monthly newsletter is so important, because they may not have paid attention to the last 6 newsletters that you sent out, but mom fell and broke her hip last week, and that 7th newsletter that you sent is the one that's finally spurred them to call you. So it's never, never a bad idea to increase your email list and to make sure you have a newsletter going out all the time. Step number 6, build relationships and your business will follow. Remember, you're educating, not selling. People like to buy, but they don't like to be sold. You're meeting with people you like and with whom you share a common interest. And my opinion is that you should never network with someone you don't like or don't respect just because you think they can help you. That doesn't really work. And if you don't like them or respect them, or maybe it's an assisted living community or a SNF that has really bad reviews or has really bad care or has been, has bad reviews or whatever it is, if you're not comfortable with the kind of care they provide, or you don't like the situation at a specific facility, don't network with them. Even if they can send you leads, oftentimes it's a bad situation to put yourself in. Your marketing materials and your website need to be consistent, and that's pretty much par for the course. I think everybody understands, or I hope they understand, that your messages should match, your colors and your content should match. They say, and we hear this in marketing all the time, it takes 7 to 10 touches for somebody to really pay attention and know who you are. So every time you reach out to your community, whether it's your website, your newsletter, which you can see here at the bottom, or your print material, the logos and the colors and everything needs to kind of match, so there's some visual recognition that it's your company. Determine your marketing budget. We get a lot of calls every single week for new startups in home care. And one of the things that most folks have neglected to do is set up a marketing budget. They think that, you can, it's not too hard to set up and run a home care business, although I would say it's actually, if you did it right, it's a pretty challenging effort, especially in a competitive market. But setting up a marketing budget seems to be something that escapes people a lot. And another one of those old cliches that we hear is, if you build it, they will come. And in the home care business, that's not necessarily the truth. I can tell you that if you build it, your people seeking jobs will come, but the clients may not. So determine your marketing budget. Your budget for print materials, your budget for your website and content, and your budget for networking. So remember this. And I don't know if my numbers are correct for you or your area or your needs, but you need to make sure that you not only have a budget to get started, so that initial set of marketing materials, that initial setup of your website, but you also need to make sure that you have money for ongoing marketing, because just putting a website up on the internet will not do you any good. If it's not receiving content all the time, if it's not reaching out to your community, if you don't have your social media set up, if it's not search engine optimized, websites are an ongoing fluid process. They change, they should change all the time. Not in a big way, but in little ways. Additional content, reaching out on social media through that content. All those things should be happening very actively on your website. 9, determine your monthly sales goals. So one of the things that it is extremely helpful for medical and non-medical home care agencies is to make sure you actually have sales goals. And that means, how many new clients per month do you want? And then break that down. How many professional referrals do you want each month? How many website leads? And how many consumer referrals? And that means, maybe a client that's used you in the past that refers a friend or a neighbor. So setting those goals for your agency, whether you're doing all the marketing yourself or you have a salesperson, is extremely important. You know how much revenue you need to create in order to pay all the bills and the caregivers and all the things that need to happen. So if you break that down by client hours and set that goal for how many new clients per month, how many client hours per month, and then also narrow that down to how many of those do you want in professional referrals, how many website leads, and how many consumer referrals, and you'll know how hard you need to work in each area. And website leads does require work. One of the things I think folks need to understand is that online marketing is extremely important. If you do it right and you follow the steps that we're talking about, and we're going to get to some more of that online marketing information here in a minute, you can get potentially up to 50% of your leads could come from your website, but you have to work it. Just throwing up a website on the internet will not help. Having your local SEO guy who also does websites for plumbers and roofers will not help. If you don't add home care, elder care, senior care, caregiver content each and every week without fail, and you don't take care of your site, and you don't have the social media set up, and you don't have all the proper things addressed on the inside of your site, then the website itself will be nothing more than an expensive place card. So you want to make sure your website is part of your marketing strategy and have that piece inside of your monthly sales goals. So now let's talk about determining your offline, meaning in person, and online marketing strategy. Okay, so for your offline strategy, here's what you need to do. Get out your calendar, and you need to schedule, write down your schedule of selected networking events. So are you going to go to chamber meetings? Are you going to go to, what kind of networking events are you going to attend in the next several months, and when are they? Put them on your schedule. A schedule of facility and referral visits. So whoever you want your referral sources to be, or whoever they are currently, and whatever facilities that you want to have refer to you, all of those need to be on your calendar. Set a schedule so that you're visiting with them regularly. You also need to write down a schedule of community events. When is that next senior fair that you need to attend? When is the Alzheimer's walk? When is, whatever the senior center volunteering that you need to be doing? Schedule all of your community events. And then on the internet, you can find a list of annual healthcare celebrations. I talked a while back about, October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. November is National Alzheimer's Awareness Month. So those are annual healthcare celebrations, meaning we recognize and think about those different disease processes, and there's several for each month. You can find that online. Make sure you know what those are and incorporate those annual healthcare celebrations into your marketing. And then I'm going to talk about you need to schedule interviews for your e-newsletter. And everybody's thinking to themselves, what do you mean schedule of interviews for your e-newsletter? Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but just briefly, what that means is there are referral sources out there that you would like to get to know better. And they are non-competitive referrers that are going after the same market but in a different way. So if you're a home care agency, a good example of that would be an assisted living facility or a skilled nursing facility that has a rehab side that discharges. So you're going to want to schedule interviews of those folks who are those referrers and decision makers so that they can be on your website and in your e-newsletter. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So when you're out there and you're networking with people, here is the information that you're going to want to gather. And this may seem pretty obvious, but I'm going to get down to some more detail in just a second. You want to gather information like names, titles, responsibilities. Are they the decision maker for discharge and for referrals? If they're not, who is? You want to have their contact information, their email addresses, and if you can find out where they currently refer their clients to upon discharge or at whatever situation that may be, where do their current referrals go to and why? So what home care agency are they referring to and why are they referring to that agency? Is it non-medical? Is it Medicare certified? What is happening when someone goes home from their facility or when someone needs additional care? Find out. So you're going to get an Excel spreadsheet opened up and you're going to develop your own referral spreadsheet. So you're going to put names, titles, responsibilities, decision makers, contact information, email addresses, where the current referrals go to and why as part of your notes. Also on that spreadsheet, you want to put down the last date that you contacted them, how you contacted them, was it in person, email, or phone. The last referral they gave you, assuming they've been giving you referrals, who was the last client they referred you and when was that? And then you also want to know from them what the best day and time to visit is. So on your spreadsheet, you're going to record the best day and time to visit. So Susie Joe may tell you at the local SNF rehab that on Tuesday mornings they have discharge planning meetings or something like that, or maybe it's just a staff meeting and it has nothing to do with discharge planning. So let's say Tuesday mornings they have staff meetings. That's a bad time to visit her. She's not going to come out of that staff meeting to see you. However, Wednesday afternoons, things have cleared up. They've got all their weekend discharges gone, and they're getting ready to start working on getting people out the door before the next weekend comes along. So Wednesday afternoons are typically a really good day to visit Susie Joe because she doesn't have any meetings scheduled and she's kind of recuperating from the previous week and getting started on getting people out the door this week. So that's a great day and time to visit. Ask, what's the best day and time to visit? So your online strategy, and notice there are 2 pots of gold at the end of these rainbows here, so this is important. We're going to talk about your website with a blog and an RSS feed. A blog, if you don't know what that is, you should. A blog is a place where you put articles every single week, new articles about what's going on in your community, just elder care, senior care in general, or whatever. And an RSS feed is called Really Simple Syndication. RSS stands for Real Simple Syndication, and that means that when you put a blog post up on your website, that it can automatically be sent to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, your e-newsletter, and other places. It has to have an RSS feed. Your website must have an RSS feed. It will do nothing without that. Okay, social media. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Google+. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about your e-newsletter, and we're going to talk about your content strategy. So a website with a blog. Your website, and this is just a screenshot of one that we recently did, your website should be search engine optimized for your city and state. It should have unique content, meaning you didn't copy and paste it from another website. unique content that changes weekly. And when I say changes weekly, I mean the articles or the blog posts that you put up should change weekly. Not the static pages. Like our services probably doesn't change at all. But the articles that you put on the website should be new every week. You want great titles that spur engagement. We're going to show you that. Local news that's pertinent to your community. You want to engage online or get off the road. So engaging means actually taking responsibility for making sure that there's good content on your website every single week. You have to engage online. If you're not a website person, if you're not an internet person, if you're not web savvy, find someone in your life who is and have them help you. If you don't engage with your online presence, you will not succeed in your website marketing. You have to help yourself. Even a company like ours, we post content every single week. We make sure everything's set up to be automated. We do all the things that we need to do. We're inside the website every week. We are doing 90% of the engagement for our clients. However, that 10% that we ask them to do, which is submitting company news or local events, they have to do that in order to succeed. You have to take part in your local community and you have to do that outreach. And when they send that content to us, we post it for them, but they are actually engaging with their community by doing that, and that is very important. 10B, social media. Okay, so I've listed here Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Google+. There are really only two, you should have an account on all of these places, but there are only two that are the most important, and that is Facebook and LinkedIn. And this is specific to the home care market. That's why it's important that when you choose someone to work with, that you have someone who understands for your website and your social media, you have somebody or organization that understands the home care market. You will never, 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 never get a client in 140 characters or less. And that means that you could devote your life to Twitter in the home care market, and you're not going to get a client from Twitter. I don't think you're going to get a client from Pinterest yet, and I don't think you're going to get a client from Google Plus yet. There are other types of businesses that would get tons of business from Pinterest and tons of business from Google Plus and tons of business from Twitter, but not the home care market. That's why when I say beware of your local SEO guy, it's not because they're bad at what they do. It's because they don't understand the difference between the home care market, which is complicated, overwhelming, and deals with a very nervous population of adult children of aging parents who may or may not be web savvy. When they don't understand the market and your target market being that adult child, they don't understand how to make this work right for you. So here's the two things that matter. Facebook is your community outreach, and LinkedIn is your professional to professional outreach. So everything that you can put on Facebook, it actually should go on your website first and then hit your Facebook automatically. So your Facebook business page is extremely important. I'm not talking about your personal Facebook account. We're talking about your Facebook business page. There is a complete difference in those. And if you're not sure what that is, I would encourage you to go to Facebook and find out. But Facebook is your community outreach. That's your business face to the community, and that's one that you need to engage with. LinkedIn is a professional to professional networking opportunity. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, you should set one up. It should be 100% filled out. It's sort of like your online resume. And although people refer to their LinkedIn accounts as their personal accounts, remember this is your professional account. You don't put pictures of your kids on LinkedIn. You don't put, goofy jokes or, I wonder how many people are going to like this post, stuff like that. That doesn't go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is all about networking. Your professional resume, your professional appearance, your picture should be on LinkedIn in your profile, and you should reach out to people in your local community as often as you can. You might be sitting down watching Sons of Anarchy at night on your TV and reaching out to people on LinkedIn who are professional healthcare professionals in your community who could be potentially a referral source. So there's all kinds of opportunity there. Facebook is for community outreach, fun stuff, interesting stuff, lots of pictures. LinkedIn, professional to professional networking. Those are the two that matter. Okay, your e-newsletter is a must. And I've talked about this already, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but here's an example of a very clean, easy to read, easy to understand newsletter. This is just the screenshot of the top of it. But this is one we recently did. It matches the branding of the website. It has all the articles that we've put on the blog for the last month are already in here. It's a very nice, clean newsletter. So it should go out monthly. It should be as automated as possible, and it will increase leads and communication. But keep your newsletters clean and easy to read. That's the most important piece. We use a system called MailChimp. MailChimp is free, MailChimp.com. It's free. It does everything in an automated fashion. We love it, and it proves to have great results for our clients. Okay, let's talk your content strategy. First of all, you should have weekly content, weekly articles or blog posts that go on your website. And all of that content should be unique to your site and not taken from others. So even if you love the article on, let's see, on New York Times aging blog, and you love something somebody wrote recently, that's great. You can paraphrase it, you can quote it, but you can't take that information and copy it and put it on your website. Google doesn't like that. It's a copyright violation on top of that. It's duplicate content on top of that. It's not good. So you need to write unique content. If you don't have time to write unique content, you can hire services like ours. Not only do we do websites, but we do probably have 500 to 600 articles per month written just for our client base. So we do that all day long. Interviews. You want to interview your potential referral sources and say to them, you know what? We have a newsletter that goes out. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+. We would love to feature your facility and your operation on our website via an article. I'd love to interview you for it. And that would be awesome for us. It would be awesome for you, and you probably will get some leads from it. Those are the things that you should be doing. Now, we have an entire template set up on how to interview a potential referral source. I've done many webinars on it, so you can go back and view our webinars and see all of those things. But that is an important piece of unique content that you can provide your website. Community events should all go on your blog. Photos are really important, and also educational material. So for LTC Expert Publications, we provide educational, unique articles every single week for our clients that are search engine optimized for their local area. We hit the nail on the head with that. However, we look to our clients to provide us with the community events, photos, interviews, and any other information they want to provide for the community outreach portion. This is just one article on a website, so you can see that the title says, "Are you cut out to be a caregiver? It's not for everyone. Find out why." Now, that's an engaging title. People might want to click on that. You know, someone who's overwhelmed and stressed out might think, that might be me. And they might be wanting to click on that and read more. So engaging titles, unique content. We do this for our clients, and this is what it looks like when we post this information. So finding your Tin Man, your Lion, and your Scarecrow, working as a team. So what you want to do is, and this is part of something I've kind of hit on before, but you want to network with other professionals and form relationships with professionals who market to the same audience that you market to, but aren't competitive with you. Once you form those relationships, all of you should market together. You're all headed down the same yellow brick road. You have the same goals in mind, but you market to a different segment of the same population. So that might be an assisted living facility, a hospice, a home care agency, and a skilled nursing facility. You know, those are four that could actually network together and do a really good job. Market together, share referral sources, and develop trust. If you can find 4 or 5 people that you trust, and you can even expand that to more, but if you can find those 4 or 5 that you really trust, and you're introducing each other to referral sources, and you're going out together and marketing as a team, even though you're from different companies, that's going to be a win for all of you. So I just want to note here for our LTCEP clients, all of you out there who are part of our network, that are our clients, we have a private site set up at ltcepmarketing.com. It's only for our clients, but I want to share this with everyone because you can do this on your own. You don't have to wait. You don't have to be our client. You can actually come up with these things on your own. We talked briefly about visiting physicians' offices with a purpose, and two of the things that are available here speak to that. So the first thing I've put up here for our clients to download is readmission rates year 3, and this can be found online. This is not a big secret. You can find your local hospitals and become educated about how you can help them improve their readmission rates. So when you clicked here to download that data, when you do that, what you get is an Excel spreadsheet of, sorry about that, what you get is an Excel spreadsheet of all of the hospitals that in every state, and you can look at your state and hospitals in your local area, and you can see what their penalty is, and if it's gotten better over time, or if it's gotten worse, or if it stayed the same, and you can get very educated on what's happening in your local area. So that's one thing that you want to do. And then I'm going to skip down here to reducing hospital readmission rates template. So what this is, it's mainly for private duty home care, but anybody can use it. You can collect your own data for your agency to hand to potential referral sources. So what this is an Excel spreadsheet, and it talks about, it has columns for name of the client, the time, when were they admitted to your services, what was their diagnosis upon admission, do they have CHF, diabetes, cancer, what was the issue, is it dementia? Keep track of those things. You should know, even a non-medical organization should know some of the diagnoses. And you can even determine that by the medications that they're on. So once you have that data, you want to know, was the person hospitalized in the last 30 days? Or have they been recently hospitalized, and even in the last 90 days? And if so, get at least the month and the year of their last hospitalization, and then keep track of the hospitalizations while they're in your service. And once you have a spreadsheet with your clients on it that shows this data, then you can take it to a physician and say, we kept so-and-so and most of our clients out of the hospital for greater than 90 days. And didn't, help them so that they did not have to readmit. So we have this data that shows that we are great at keeping people out of the hospital for greater than 30 days because we take such good care of them and we understand, their needs. So physicians' offices love seeing that, hospitals love seeing that, and if you can prove to them via your own data that you're good, your private duty organization is good at this, then they'd be more likely to refer to you. In the middle there, I put a contact referral spreadsheet template. This is what we talked about as far as putting down your referral, people that you visited with, the contact, the last time they referred to you, the last time you visited with them, who they're currently referring to, all those things that we put on that list. That is what the contact referral spreadsheet template is. And then the last one at the bottom is the schedule of events and company news to submit to us, or even just to keep track of on your own. So every event that you attend can be a piece of company news because you're going to write a little blurb about it and have some pictures. So if you keep track on an Excel spreadsheet of your schedule of events and company news, you'll know what you need to submit to, like someone like us, to post on your blog, or to just do it yourself, or maybe somebody in your office. So you can keep track of those. So although these are available to our clients, anybody can create these spreadsheets and have them available in their office. Okay, avoiding the Wicked Witch and her flying monkeys. She says, going so soon? I wouldn't hear of it. Why, my little party's just beginning. And that's from the Wicked Witch of the West. And here's what I mean by avoiding the Wicked Witch and her flying monkeys. The Wicked Witch and the flying monkeys are all the negative things that happen to us along the yellow brick road. All of that doubt, that negative thinking, that defeatist attitude, that competition jabber, people are saying things about each other. Procrastination because you didn't have a good day yesterday, now you're procrastinating about how to get started today. that avoiding behavior. And by that, I mean maybe you didn't get off on the right foot with some kind of referral source, so you're avoiding going back and visiting them, or avoiding developing a better relationship with them. Don't get into any of this stuff. Stay away from the doubt, the negative thinking. Just keep rolling on, because when you keep rolling on, you completely avoid the Wicked Witch and her flying monkeys. You can make it through it, especially if you form that team. Those folks that are marketing and doing the same thing that you're doing, but if you do it together, it's sort of like group therapy. It's much easier. So let Glinda the Good Witch help. So here are a couple of quotes from The Wizard of Oz that I thought might be really good. By the way, there's Toto on the right hand side here, and he's pulling back the curtain so you can see that the Wizard of Oz is nothing more than just a man. And Oz whispers to Glinda, "I might not actually be a wizard." And Glinda says, "Yes, but they don't know that. You're capable of more than you know." So even if you feel like you're not the expert in home care, or you feel like you're not the best marketer in the world, everybody else out there doesn't know that. You're the only one who believes that. So you got to quit having those words in your head and just know that you're capable of more than you know. And no one can do it for you. Glinda has informed Dorothy that she has always had the power to go home, and you have the power to be an excellent marketer. And Dorothy asks, "Why didn't you tell me?" And Glinda said, "Because you have to find out for yourself. You have to start at the beginning. And starting at the beginning means following a plan and following a path. And when you do that, then you become an excellent marketer." Don't fall asleep in the poppy field. Well, what I really want to say about this is that when things are going really well, and those referrals are coming in, and those internet leads are coming in, and things are great, don't rest on your laurels. Make sure you're still out there doing the same things, following the same path, or make the path better. Whatever you need to do don't fall asleep. Don't let the competition pass you up. Make sure that you're always on top of things. Even when things are good, don't fall asleep in the poppy field. And remember, never let those ruby slippers off your feet for a moment, or you'll be at the mercy of the Wicked Witch of the West. So the ruby slippers are all the positive, good, happy things that you can be thinking about, and forming those relationships and having a good time with your job, and remembering to engage with people not only in person but also online, and all of that will happen. So you can get help from Glinda, and Glinda says to call LTC Expert Publications. I'm Valerie, and my business partner is George, and we can be reached at 888-404-1513, or you can email George at george@ltcep.com. And there's just a little list of things that we do: weekly content, all social media, all business listings online. We do our clients' websites, we create them, or we work with the ones they already have. We do all the search engine optimization. We do have private marketing materials for our clients only. We have reputation management on seniorservicereviews.com, and we always are available for a consultation. So having said that, I want to thank you for watching the video, and for contacting us, and for being a part of our monthly free webinar series. And we will be back next month with more cool tips, and we'll probably start talking about what to look forward to in 2015. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.